This is NJ Ink Fest 2025, one of New Jersey's newest tattoo conventions. Held over 2 days in Hillsborough, it brought together tattoo artists, vendors, and fans from all over the country. It wasn't just another expo, it was a chance to build something different. Born from a simple idea and a lot of hard work, this is the story of how it came to life. Tucked away in Staten Island is Born for Greatness Tattoos, Anthony's home base. It's where he works, where he builds, and where most of the story really begins.
My name is Anthony Valentine. I am a tattoo artist. I'm the owner of Born for Greatness Tattoos and NJ Ink Fest. I'm also a painter, a sculptor, professional dabbler. I'm honestly, it's easier to label the things that I don't do. Tattooing for me it's never been a job, it's always been a lifestyle. For me, tattooing since I was a kid was everything I wanted to be. I remember the first time that I was on the train with my mother in Manhattan and I seen a couple and they had tattoos and I thought it was the most fascinating thing. And I was obsessed with the lifestyle since then. I made it every part of my day, every thought, every process, everything. Tattooing really has been my life. The first tattoo I got, I was 14 years old. I had gotten kicked out of every tattoo shop that I've walked into, which was probably about 13 or 14 of them. And one girl that I worked with, she had a bunch of tattoos. And I begged her, I was like, please, let me talk to your guy. Maybe he'll tattoo me, you know? And I never told the guy my age, and he was like, yeah, you know what, come, I'll tattoo you from my house. He was a professional tattoo artist, but he tattooed from home to make a little extra cash on the side, and I'll never forget it. In a situation that probably would have made people nervous, I enjoyed. 14 years old, I went to this guy's house, and I remember hearing DMX blasting through his apartment door. And I'm knocking on the door and he's not answering. And I give him a call and he answers and he was like, I'm gonna have my nephew open the door. So I was like, okay. So his nephew comes, he opens the door and straight gangsters. And this guy, he's one flannel buttoned at the top, gun in his waistband. And he was like, dude, I thought you were my parole officer. And I was like, nope. I'll never forget it. I walked into this guy's apartment and I'm looking down the hallway and he's sitting in his living room. And he looks over, you see he's got a little headlight on and he has this biggest smile on his face. He tells me to come and I walk in and there's a bunch of bikers just hanging out on the couch. And one guy, he's doing illegal things off of a CD case and everybody just was hanging out and everybody was just getting along. And growing up the way that I did, my family always said, you have to get a good job that makes good money and you have to find something that makes you happy. And 14 years old, I'm sitting in this guy's apartment, he's hanging out with his friends and he must have made about $1,500 that night. And I was like, good job, good money, hanging out with his friends, and this is something that I'd be passionate about. 2 weeks later, I dropped out of school. I was in 9th grade and that was it, and I never looked back. When I started out, running the conventions was never even a thought of mine. I thought that was for the legends. I thought that was for the big guys. You know, starting off 14 years ago, my dream was just to own a shop, just to be good, just to have a clientele, and just own a reputable shop, you know, and surround myself with good artists. The fact that I'm able to now host a convention to where I'm not just surrounded by a small team of artists such as Jesus and Kat and Jess. I'm now surrounded by hundreds of great artists, and they kind of all came to support us, which is amazing. I never thought that would happen. So for the convention, it kind of came out of nowhere. I'm gonna be honest. I've hosted conventions in the past. I've hosted horror conventions. I've hosted comic conventions. And I was driving one day and I was like, I've hosted these things that I've known a good deal amount about, but I've never hosted a convention for the thing I know the most about, and I was coming home from a convention and I seen just so many flaws with how the show was run, with the industry, how it wasn't catered towards the artist. I knew that it was gonna be a lot of work. And the first step for me was to figure out, hey, I need a partner. I need somebody that's driven, I need somebody that's passionate, I need somebody that is willing to put in that work. And naturally, my first call was to Jesus.
To be honest, I was like, shit, this is, I've never done a convention before. Obviously, I asked a lot of questions because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But just like he said before, we both are go-getter, I'll be like, listen, I'll be right there with you. I'm your right-hand man. For whatever you need, I'm gonna be there. Let's do it, Let's give it a shot. So in the beginning, he showed me a lot of stuff, that I needed to learn, and it went from there.
The whole thing was thought about in 3 days. Day one, I called Jesus. Day two, I told him to bring a notebook because we're writing down ideas. Day three, I called the venue. And then on day three, we found the venue, put the down payment, and came up with the name, all within 72 hours. Everybody thought that I was crazy for picking Hillsborough. One thing that drew me in about Hillsborough was, one, they've never seen a tattoo convention. They are not aware of our customs. They're not aware of our lifestyle. To them, tattooing is still the big bad bikers from the 90s, and not realizing that most of our clientele is now doctors, lawyers, moms, college students, So with Hillsborough only has one tattoo shop for the entire town. The health department, when we spoke to them, they were not equipped to deal with what we were dealing with. They wrote a whole new guideline. They wrote the book because of us. And that's why I wanted to pick Hillsborough. I wanted to do something that the town would always remember. I wanted to give something to that community that is new, that is fresh. Hillsborough doesn't even have Starbucks, So all the tattoo conventions, all the big ones that are in Jersey are South Jersey. They're in Atlantic City. They're in Secaucus. There's nothing for Central or North Jersey. And the beautiful thing about Hillsborough is that it's 45 minutes from everything. It's 45 minutes from New York, South Jersey, North Jersey, Central, and PA. So we were able to market to everybody.
in our industry, what I've seen right now is like a lot of people, when they hear about a tattoo shop, right? Some people feel like nervous because they don't know how to interact. Like, I don't know how to come to a shop, because most of the time back in the day, for what I hear, was like very hardcore. So people get intimidated by going to the shop and talking to somebody about a tattoo and what they want to get done. The way I work is what I would like to change. Like when somebody come to the shop and somebody hit me up through Instagram or wanted to get a piece, I want to make them feel very welcome, you know? Sit down, talk to the people, whoever the client is, and try to make them feel comfortable. And that's something that I would love for the industry to continue doing, because right now there's a lot of people out there that do that. So one thing that they do is like they do a lot of videos. Instagram Reels are very big right now, because the actual people in the outside world, they can see how the shop works. They can get very close to the artist. Meanwhile, they don't know the artist personally, but by the way they do the videos and the way they talk and introduce themselves, that's something that help out a lot.
My biggest fear was it being a complete failure. My biggest fear was maybe there's a reason why nothing has happened in Hillsborough. Maybe there's a reason why the town has never experienced. Was it that they didn't have the opportunity to experience it, or was it because they weren't open to it? And it turns out it was a mixture of both. We had some really positive feedback, and then we had town meetings literally on how to run us out of the town to never throw a show there again. So I kind of patted myself on the back for both of those. We went and met with two of the health department officers, and we were informed that there was going to be a town meeting on how to get us to not host the show. That they were upset that us gypsies were coming in and hosting an event in their town, and they didn't want our kind there. Word for word, this is what we were told in that meeting. I was very surprised when they called us that to our face in the meeting. So I was like, okay. I was like, go there and say that to the people that are there. And they're not gonna react as kindly as we are, you know?
This guy gave me the time of fucking day when no one else did. NJ Ink Fest, man, that's what we do.
But yeah, there were actual town meetings. The mayor, the deputy mayor didn't want us there. The health inspectors didn't want us there. There were several meetings on trying to roadblock us. Permits, we were threatened with fines, jail time. So we got it to work. It all worked.
Everything's going good. We just got David LaBrava here, Happy from Sons of Anarchy. We're setting him up right now. He's gonna start doing meet and greets, autographs, photos, everything.
Jesus and I, we both had a lot to do. A lot of these conventions are run by big teams. For us, it was me and Jesus. And I took care of more of the legal work, the documentations, the paperwork, the online advertising, the marketing. Jesus was the run and gun, on the ground guy. He was going to shops, he was going and talking to people. He was out at concerts, he was out at sporting events, he was everywhere making sure that everybody knew who we were. Jesus got very creative with a lot of the ways to market, and that was one of his big responsibilities. He also secured a lot of really high-end sponsors for us, sponsors that I didn't even think of. He ended up getting us and really helped boost the show.
Big time. Right now, on our Instagram, we post every artist that's gonna be there. So whoever's following us, they can see the artists, they can see the interaction, how they interact. You know, they see the reels, they see all that. So I feel like whoever wants to come to the show, they can see our website, they can see on Instagram and see who's gonna be there. You know, click on their page and get more info about them.
But for the most part, our day-to-day, we kind of ran the convention the same way we run the shop, the same way I run my other businesses, and split that responsibility. For me, unfortunately, I didn't get to express the artist part of myself, and it was 95% business. Next convention, I definitely want to be tattooing. I definitely miss the artist part of hosting the event. Everybody else had a good time and everybody got to tattoo, and I was running around, you know. The tattoo community, the tattoo community is kind of like a dysfunctional family, you know? We all have great respect for each other, we all love each other, but at the same time, we're also want to one-up each other, you know? Everybody has like that sibling rivalry. What surprised me the most was how much of a community it felt like, you know? Walking in there, I met a lot of those artists for the first time. I've had phone calls with them, I've messaged them through email, but it really was like going to a family reunion. Everybody was there, everybody was hanging out, people met for the first time, and you know, when you work with artists in a shop and you're meeting them for the first time, yes, sometimes you'll click right away, but when you have 200 to 250 new tattoo artists all under the same roof who've never met, and it's like you've known them for 10 years, it feels like family, you know? It feels really nice.
So my name is Jimmy D'Alessio, and I'm from Raritan, New Jersey. I work at Working Class Art in Lebanon. Why do I think people are getting tattoos? I think it's so accessible now. I think there's conventions all the time. I think there's more artists than there ever have been. So if you're looking for a certain kind of art or anything, like there's gonna be an artist there for you, and it's just so accessible, and there's so much art out there now.
I guess like my goal and philosophy of tattooing is just to do cool art on other people and to like share the beauty of creativity and like the blessing of the talent I have with it with as many people as possible, and just connect with people in a different way because of it.
People have always found ways to express themselves, and tattoos are a perfect way to do that. I'm almost completely covered at this point, you know. So it's just like that never-ending goal of just like getting more and more of stuff that you like.
I think people are getting tattoos nowadays because of the simple fact that it's the new wave, the new trend, the new culture. You can express your feelings more when it comes to tattooing. You have a lot new styles when it comes to tattoos. You have the old school styles, and it transitions over to the new school styles and animes. You have more play with color, more designs, more freedom. So I think it's just a new way to express who you are now.
I think people get tattooed because they like to express themselves on their body. Any way to express yourself, I feel, is valid as long as it's, you know, within the law and it's not hurting anybody else. So I think tattoos are the perfect way to do that.
I wish people understood that people who get tattoos aren't just people in a biker gang, people in prisons. You know, that seems to be a common misconception that only delinquents get tattoos. A lot of people who get tattooed are mothers. A lot of people have lost a family member and want to commemorate them.
Yes, I got my first tattoo after my grandmother died. It says ulitai. It's a Russian word, it means fly away, and I got it in memorial for her.
Tattooing is not an easy job. Tattooing is not an easy lifestyle. It's not a job. It's not a job at all. It's you eat, breathe, piss, and shit tattoos and art. And you're going to put in 200% and get 50% back. This is not an industry to where you get what you put into it. You get a quarter of what you put into it. And you're lucky for that quarter, and you need to hold on to it. Tattooing is not an easy lifestyle. Most tattoo artists, and I tell this to everybody that I hire, anybody that's new into the industry, It's not for everybody.
I think a lot of people look at being a tattooer as like, oh my God, you have like the best job. And it is the best job. I'm not taking that away. But some people are like, oh, it's all like rock star shit and like living your life and like, I don't know, just like thinking that it's easy. It's like, there's a lot of hard work. Like there's like countless hours that like, dude, like my back hurts, you know? Like I'm up all night drawing sometimes. Like it's just, it's a lot, like to get to where I am today, it took a lot of work. And it is not an easy job. Very taxing. And, but I wouldn't trade it for the world.
There's no security. You have your slow seasons. You'll be slow for 3-4 months out of the year until you build a really good clientele. And even when you build a good clientele, you might not still be able to make it. It's a hard life. You know, you can't get into this for the money. You have to get into the love of it.
I think being here, surrounded by other artists who have been doing this for years, who are, you know, big names in the industry, it really helps put things in perspective. It kind of helps almost create a goal, something to strive for. You know, you want to be as good as these people. You never want to be, you know, just another booth. You want to be the main attraction, like the reason people come here.
I wish they would understand the time and the effort that it takes to get into it. Yeah, there are new ways to tattoo and learn how to tattoo, but I do think you have to take that time and effort by asking somebody who's been tattooing for a lot more longer just to know what it really takes, because this was something that wasn't allowed back then, you know?
Tattooing will take everything from you. Tattooing will take everything you love and it'll give you a whole new life. You'll miss birthdays, you'll miss parties, you'll miss outings with your friends and your family, you'll miss everything. But in return, it'll also give you a life of freedom that most people will never begin to imagine. Most tattoo artists don't make it past 5 years because you're still struggling. You're still building your clientele. You're still new. I'm gonna say probably 90% of tattoo artists don't make it to 10 years. They fall off, they get 9 to 5s because they don't want that struggle.
Honestly, I'm amazed that I'm here in the first place. I didn't think this was ever gonna happen for me. I thought I would I didn't think I was gonna become a tattoo artist in general, but being here, it's really kind of confirms the fact that, yeah, this is what I wanna do. It's only solidified that. And seeing other artists, seeing their passion for their work, a lot of it is just, you know, it reinstates that idea that this is it. This is what I want to strive for. And I'm really grateful to Anthony for the opportunity to be here.
It is not an easy life. And I truly believe most people are not meant for this. Most people is not meant for this type of lifestyle, for this type of hustle. I've been tattooing for 14 years and I have to grind just as hard now as I did 14 years ago. And it's not for everybody. So be a doctor, be a lawyer, be something that is 9 to 5 with a good paycheck. For this event, my goal was pretty simple. Yes, I wanted an event to where everybody was welcomed and we had something for everybody. Our show had, most people that go to the tattoo conventions, they go and they look around, they don't really get tattooed, you know? They like buying the small little things, the knickknacks, the art, the memorabilia. And that was something that I really wanted to introduce. So our show has the most vendors, art-wise, that are not tattoo artists than any other tattoo convention. We had just as many vendor booths as we did tattoo booths.
Generally, I wanted to sell my merchandise. I just began this business about 2 months ago. People compliment me, they tell me it looks like I've been in business for about 5 to 10 years. I'm just really dedicated to what I do, and I love it.
So my name is Jonathan Simon, and I represent Culture Cross. My friends own the business, but I travel throughout the Northeast coast, and I basically travel and sell the jewelry that they collect over 150 countries and 15 years of collecting.
I love meeting everybody that I come across because I'm starting to feel like my tent is a bit of a therapy space because people just come into my tent and they tell me about all their life stories and their breakups and the things that they're going through. I don't know, maybe I just have a warm aura, who knows?
People that like to wear jewelry also love tattoos and vice versa, so it kind of goes hand in hand. Especially people that are designing their bodies are going to want to design their bodies with jewelry as well.
Another thing for the tattoo artist, we wanted them to feel like we're not just another convention trying to grab your money. So many of these conventions will charge $1,400 for a booth, and that overhead is crazy. That overhead is hard, especially in an economy like today. This show is run by artists for artists, and I know that sounds like a cliche, but we kept our booths reasonable. We wanted to make sure that the artists had every opportunity to grow, to create good art, to compete, and do it all on a fair playing ground.
I got to meet two actors that I really idolized, you know, Mark Boone Jr., Bobby from Sons of Anarchy, and David LaBrava, which is a super cool guy. I got to pick his brain earlier. He was awesome. He played Happy on Sons of Anarchy. Super cool guys. It's great hanging out with them for the weekend.
I feel strong about a lot of people that feel afraid in going to a convention and just don't know how the atmosphere is in a convention. When you go to a convention, a tattoo convention, from my experience, honestly, I've been in 2 conventions. I go in and you see a lot of artists, you see a lot of vendors. There's people there that been there for the first time and this is the first tattoo, you know, and they go in and they feel comfortable.
The experience was the main reason. The profit wasn't even a mindset for us. It was never about making the money on the show. It was more about creating the experience for the show. Everybody loved it. Everybody had a good time. For a lot of people, it was their first convention and they got to experience it. A lot of the tattoo artists that I've met, I see them at other conventions that I've gone to, I've seen them on the street, and they've all asked me when the next one is. Everybody had a good time, everybody made money, everybody got to experience something cool, you know, and that was something that we appreciated. Oh, I can't wait for the next one. It was stressful and it was a lot, and everything that could go wrong on the planner side of it went wrong. The weather was horrible, tables and chairs were late, celebrities were late. They were cool as hell, but they were late. Just all of it was very stressful. What's next? That's the question, you know? And Jesus and we were talking, and I can't wait for next year. Possibly we'll do it in Hoboken, hit more of the city lifestyle, reach out to people there. We have an amazing amount of people already trying to get booths for next year. We have both artists and vendors, before the show was even over, giving us the green light to book them for next year. And that's what we wanted. We wanted people to want to come back. We wanted people to feel like it was worth it. So that's what we did. That's what we're going to do. I wanted the people from Hillsborough to really get a grasp that we are not what they think we are. You know, I wanted the people that are not used to our customs, our lifestyle, our norms, to realize that we're not these big scary monsters that everybody makes us out to be, especially in small towns like that. So for us, I wanted everybody to just to see that, you know. I learned that I've had no limits. I learned that this convention came within 72 hours of me putting it together in my head. I've learned that anything that I want to do, I will do. That the only person that's going to stop me is me. And if they can have town meetings and council meetings and board of directors and mayors and governors could all get together and see how they can stop me, and they haven't, the only person that's going to stop me is me.
wasn't the biggest show, but it was one of the realest. NJ Inkfest 2025 didn't just happen out of nowhere. It came together through months of work, planning, late nights, and moments when it looked like it might not happen at all. But it did. This convention was never about impressing anyone. It was about proving something to ourselves, to each other, and to anyone watching that tattoo culture is more than ink and attitude. It's about community, grit, craft, and the people behind the machines. From artists and vendors to first-timers and veterans, everyone showed up for the same reason: to create, to share, and to build something bigger. This wasn't just a showcase. It was a statement. And it's only the beginning.